Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and you're watching VSense. So on today's video, this is going to be the first type of video that I do like this. I am going to go through my collection of one specific designer. I would go through every single one of the fragrances that I have. That would take extremely long. If you want to see a video like that sometime in the future, let me know and I'll be happy to do that. But today we're going to look at my Tom Ford collection. So out of all the designer fragrances that I do have, this is my most extensive collection. It is not because I'm a fanboy. I know I'm going to get a comment out there that says that you're just obsessed with this brand, and I am not a fanboy. I very much do enjoy the brand. I did enjoy the brand. I have since changed my thoughts with the brand because I did work for this brand for a little bit, and I did enjoy the creations that came out of Tom Ford. Now let's get right into it. I'm going to go through each fragrance that I have here with me. I'm going to say if it's worth it, if it's not worth it, the price point that it's at, and quickly give a description of their smell. I try to make this go as quickly as possible and not spend so much time on one individual fragrance. And before we get started, make sure to give the video a thumbs up as it does help the channel. And let's get right into it. The way we're going to start this video is based on price points. So at a price point, we are going to look at these guys, which are body sprays. I do have Noir Extrem, which is I believe this is a men's version. They did make a women's version of this fragrance as well. This is a body spray, so it is an aerosol can that you can apply it. I like these from the House of Tom Ford because they're very true to scent, so they don't change very much. So is if you were to get a perfume in this collection, you might not like it, you might like it, and then you spray it on and it might change on you completely. These, because they have a different architecture when it comes to fragrance making, they're a little bit different. They might smell the same for the most part. They're supposed to smell the same as what you're spraying. I do have here Bladejoy, which is a newer release from the House of Tom Ford, at least in his signature line, as well as Noir Extreme, which is still around. They have made a parfum version of this. I do love this scent. It's a little bit sweeter, a little darker. It's a very nice, sexy fragrance. Bois de Jour is nice as well. It's a little bit more gentleman-like, a little bit lighter. They have changed it from the original formulation, so it's a little bit better. Then I have these. I also used to have Fucking Fabulous, and I used to have Fucking Fabulous in these body sprays, as well as Costa Azzurra, Mandarina Dalmafi, White Suede, and Tobacco Vanille. I have since ran out of them and I did decide to toss them, but here we have Oud Wood on the right hand side. Very good alternative if you're not wanting to spend the full price of Oud Wood. I would certainly say to check this one out. It's a little bit better than the pocket spray because you're going to get more wears out of it. And Soleil Brûlant, this is part of their Soleil collection, so they obviously have Soleil Blanc. They have Soleil Brûlant, they have Soleil Neige, which is this guy here. I do love this version of Soleil. It is a little bit nicer. It has some citric notes in it, which makes it a little bit more wearable, a little bit more unisex too, because Soleil Blanc can come off as, very feminine, but it kind of comes off as old lady grandma feminine to me, if you catch my drift. The next one we have here is Grey Vetiver. This fragrance is really nice. You are still able to find this on reseller websites, as well as, you might find people that are selling testers. I got mine at the Estee Lauder outlet. I love this fragrance. This is the Eau de Parfum spray. They also did make an Eau de Toilette version of this. It's very nice, very understated fragrance. Now, the problem with this fragrance comes at the price point that it was. It was fairly expensive for a mainstream fragrance. And because of the price point, you were thinking you're going to get longevity, performance. You got a great smelling fragrance, very modern, very clean vetiver. But the problem with it was that it was just not long wearing at all. But really good fragrance. I would recommend to get this. Next, we have the Ombre Leather line. So we have the Eau de Parfum here and the Parfum here. I will say that I have had this one since it launched. I remember getting Ombre Leather 16 back when it came out. It was a limited edition fragrance that was launched for the 2016 show, and I liked that version, and I was really excited whenever they said that they were going to bring it back. I remember hearing it, and I remember they launched it. And at the beginning, I thought it smelled just like this, but it didn't. It lost a lot of the sweet notes that this one does have. This one smells more similar to Ombre Leather 16 than the Eau de Parfum. So if you are looking for a Ombre Leather 16 replacement, I would certainly say to check out Ombre Leather Parfum because it's going to be more similar to that than the Eau de Parfum. Next, we have Eau Soleil Blanc. So this is the cheaper version of Soleil Blanc. They obviously have made this, so it's a little bit more affordable. It's not necessarily affordable because it's fairly expensive still, even at being at a lower price point because it is an eau de toilette. It is nice. It smells fairly similar to the Soleil Blanc fragrance or the Eau de Parfum, but with the exception that it's not going to have the longevity or performance of that one. I really don't care for this fragrance itself. I know a lot of people are, hard believers and hardcore stands of this fragrance. I don't see it. I have heard that it smells like heaven. I'm not sure where heaven is. If heaven is in Pennsylvania or in New Jersey, then definitely this is a fragrance for you, but not for me. The next one we have here is Eau de Ver Bohème. This was part of their resort collection, so they came out with a couple of them. They came out with Eau Jasmine Rouge, I believe it was Mandarino d'Amalfi, Costa Azzurra. They came out with Oud Mineral. And with all due respect, this fragrance, when it launched, it was part of the original private blend line. I hated it when it came in that bottle. I like it a little bit better here because they have made it a little bit more wearable, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more modern, where the other fragrance was a bit more darker, more sultry, a little too green, and it kind of smelled like a pack of cigarettes, if you ask me. But they've made it a lot nicer with this fragrance here. It is a magnolia heavy fragrance, so if you like magnolia, definitely check it out. I know that they have discontinued the resort collection. I'm not sure why. You'll see that it is a trend here with Tom Ford that they do like to discontinue fragrances, unfortunately. But yes, this one was discontinued along with the entire resort collection, but I have seen it on resellers for not that much money, so definitely check it out if you like magnolia heavy fragrances. It is nice. It is not going to be a taste that everyone likes, so definitely if you can smell it prior to purchase, do that. The next thing we have here is Tuscan Leather, and this is the intense version. Quite frankly, I really never cared for Tuscan Leather. I felt like it smelled too mechanical. It smelled too like leather tannery type smell. And if you have ever been around a leather tannery, that it does not have the nicest smell, but it kind of smells like a brand new car. If you were to buy a brand new BMW, brand new Mercedes, or any car that has, premium leather in it, it smells like this fragrance here. There is a nice jasmine note in here, and I believe there's black rose in here. You lose all of those components and it just becomes a leather fragrance. So if you want to smell like a handbag, then by all means get Tuscan Leather. If you can find the extreme version, it's even worse. And I have one here without a lid. This is because it was gifted to me when I worked for the brand itself, and because they do not put testers out there without lids because they get stolen or something like that. I did get to keep this one when they discontinued it. Long story short, this is Patchouli Absolute, and I do love this fragrance. I was very sad when they said that they were going to discontinue it because it is a patchouli, but it's an earthy, wet patchouli with lots of deep element woods in it. It's done very well. It's very sophisticated. It's very understated. It's extremely luxurious, and I don't know why they got rid of this one. There's a couple of other ones that they got rid of that I was very on the fence about and very mad, like Champaka Absolu was a really good one. Blonde Japonaise was a really good one. They got rid of a lot of the really nice fragrances that really made this line stick out and really just have that extra je ne sais quoi, because this line, when it first launched, the private blend line, was extremely well done. It was very well thought out. And with time, I think that they kind of got into these gimmicky type of fragrances that you'll see here. They saw that certain ones were sticking, certain ones were becoming very popular, and because of that, we had a whole range of what the hell fragrances. And I have some of those what the hell fragrances here, so we'll get into those here in a little bit. The next one I have here is Bladejoy. This is the private blend formulation. It is, like I said, it's a little bit similar to the new formulation. They have made the newer formulation a little bit more mass market appealing, so it's a little bit cleaner, it's a little bit lighter. It's also a little bit more modern. This one has a lot more old money to it. If you were to say the new formulation, that would be the son's fragrance. This would be the father's fragrance. And it is very much similar smelling. Like I said, it is after all named the same name. The only thing is that the new fragrance itself, like I said, has a more modern, more clean, more sophisticated type of everyday smell, versus this one is a lot more dressed up in a suit type of fragrance. The next one we have here is Tobacco Vanille. This is one of the staples for this house. So if you have heard of Tom Ford, you have heard of Tobacco Vanille. It is extremely popular. To me, this smells like a very expensive tobacco and vanilla candle. I mean, that's what the fragrance is. It's tobacco and vanilla. The problem with it is that it doesn't smell like a very expensive fragrance to me at all. Like I said, it smells like a house product, so a house fragrance or a body product potentially, more of a candle than anything. And for that reason, I have never been a fan of this fragrance. I don't care for it. I'm not a big vanilla note lover myself. The problem with this one, like I said, is that it does have that tobacco in there, which makes it, very candle-like. So it does have a waxy type of smell to it. But some people out there love it. It's just not for me, and I would not recommend it. Unless you smelled it and you say you absolutely love it, then by all means get it. The next fragrance that I have here is Oud Wood. So this one does come in a 250 ml bottle. So if you have 850 bucks, then by all means get yourself the big guy in here. Now, the problem with Tom Ford is it used to be a lot more exclusive. It used to be a lot harder to find itself as a brand. With time progressing, the brand has actually become a little bit easier to find on discounters. It's been easier to find like at outlets. So if you are not aware, all Tom Ford fragrances are manufactured and produced by Estee Lauder. In fact, Estee Lauder did buy the fashion house and all the brand recently. But long story short, Estee Lauder has their own little outlet called the Cosmetics Company store, and they do typically send some overstock. So what I mean by that is you can probably find yourself a bottle of Oud Wood, and you can actually have them look it up in the system, and you can call whatever store has it in stock, and they can ship it to you. It'll be a fraction of the cost, and I'm just saying that because that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of this brand. I'm paying full price for it. And secondly, the prices are just astronomical. But if you do like Oud Wood, I would say that this is the original Oud fragrance. This is what made Oud popular before every other designer started to do it. They have done it well here. It's more of a masculine oud, lots of cardamom, a little bit fresher. It's kind of like a wet, earthy type of oud fragrance. The next one we have here is Tobacco Oud. Now, this fragrance, I swear, I thought they were going to bring it back. There was lots of rumors that they were going to bring it into the signature range. That rumor since has died out, and I'm not sure if they're going to bring it back at this point, but very sad to see that this one's gone. It's a very nice, sexy scent. If you actually have this, you know what I'm talking about. It's a very old school gentleman fragrance. It grabs all of the nice things that Tobacco Vanille has in it, removing the vanilla itself and then adding some oud in there. And it's a very nice oud. It's not going to be like an Arabic oud, just so you do know both of the oud fragrances here use a synthetic component. They do not use original oud. So for that reason itself, it's like, why are you charging this price point for it? But like I said, this fragrance itself is worth the price. If you can find this discounted or on resellers, definitely try it. Check it out because this fragrance isn't going to be no more and it's not coming back from what it seems like. So definitely check this one out. I do recommend it. The next one we have here is Cafe Rose. So this was one of my favorite ones. It used to come with the purple sticker whenever I worked for Tom Ford because it was part of a garden collection. I'm not sure what that garden collection was actually called at this point, but there was quite a few of them that had purple stickers on them itself. Then they brought it into the original private blend line and they put the traditional gold sticker on it. Very good fragrance. It is coffee with roses. It's a very nice, light, jammy rose though, and it's a very light coffee. So it smells extremely well together. It's well blended, it's well crafted. I would say that this is probably one of my all-time favorite fragrances by the house of Tom Ford. I really do like it. I would say that it is worth every penny. They have discontinued it in this bottle. From what I have seen online, they are bringing it over into the signature range. It is a very nice, sexy fragrance. I love it. The next one we have here is Rose de Russia. I did a review on this guy here. It was actually just launched and then quickly the plug was pulled on it, obviously because it is named Rose of Russia or Russian Rose. Like I said, this one has been discontinued since. It was a very smoky type of green rose. Not the best rose fragrance if you are used to something like a Cafe Rose, and you would have not liked this one because this one has a lot of smoky elements to it. I really didn't care for this fragrance. The next one I have is White Suede. They actually changed this bottle to be a transparent bottle with a white lid. It used to look just like this. They have since changed it. Very nice fragrance. It's a musky fragrance with essentially a leather type of note in here. done very well. I do like it. I liked it a lot more on the body spray, I'll be honest with you, because I do like this fragrance here. I did have the body spray of it, and I would say if you can find the body spray, you probably like it better because it has lighter qualities to it itself. This one's good as well. It's just for the price point and the longevity being so crappy on this, it's really not worth the price point if you ask me. I would definitely recommend to try the body spray over this guy here, Lavender Extreme. Now, I did do a review on this fragrance, and let's just say that I was a little harsh to this fragrance. I was a little mean. I wasn't the nicest to this fragrance overall. Very beautiful bottles, so it's going to be part of the Extreme line. So at the time when this fragrance was launched, Tom Ford had launched this extreme collection of makeup. So they were like very glittery eyeshadows and they all had the same, silver packaging. And this is what they came out with as a fragrance. So with this fragrance itself, it is a little boring when you first smell it. When you first spray it, it can even come off as chemically and kind of Play-Doh-y. But as time wears and as time progresses with the fragrance on your skin or on your clothes, it does become a light, sexy lavender, and it's done extremely well. It's like if you were to grab a lavender out of old traditional fragrances and it has that soft, delicate touch to it. That's what this fragrance is here. It has been discontinued, obviously, probably because the first spray on this fragrance itself was not good. It's still not good. And when I first spray this fragrance, I'm like, ugh, I don't know. I don't like it. But as time progresses, like I said, it does come alive and it does become a beautiful scent. The next one we have here is Tuberose News. So this is a tuberose fragrance and it is supposed to symbolize naked tuberose. There we go with the naughty names starting off here. This fragrance is a little bit old lady-like. Now, I used to recommend it a lot for wedding times because if you were getting married, then I would certainly say that this is a perfect scent for that because it's romantic, it's soft, it's delicate, it's tuberose, especially if you're having an outdoor wedding. Very nice, very sexy fragrance for that occasion. Now, for everyday wear, I would say that this is probably not going to be your best friend because it is overly floral. And it's so floral, in fact, that you might actually get followed by bugs. And I actually had that happen to me with this fragrance, which is the only one that I've had it happen with Bitter Peach. Now, this fragrance is probably one of my favorite ones from the line. Granted, peach as a note in this fragrance is a synthetic, but it has a very nice spicy side to the actual peach. So although you're getting that peachy type of scent to it, you're getting a very sexy, spicy, woody type of element to the fragrance overall. And with that being said, this fragrance is really sexy, very yummy. It does remind me a lot of Thierry Mugler's Angel. And because of that, it kind of went down on my list of favorites because I was like, I used to hate Thierry Mugler Angel. And with time and with loving fragrances, I have come to appreciate that fragrance. And that's probably why I like this one so much to this day. It doesn't get a lot of wear time because it can be a little bit too much for other people. It can choke the room out if you wear a lot of it, but it is a very nice fragrance. It wears extremely well, so you can get anywhere from 5 to 6, 7 hours maybe. And if you're in the heat, it will come alive even more. The next one we have here is Soleil Brûlant. This is part of the Soleil collection. They have come out with a new one. I do like I said, Soleil Neige. Don't care for Soleil Blanc. But Soleil Brûlant is a little bit different. It's very nice. It's very delicate. It has all of the nice, like, sunscreen type of chemical vibes that Soleil Blanc has in it. Now, the difference with this one is that it kind of smells like celery to me. I don't know if anyone else picks that up from here, but it smells like if you were to grab fresh cut celery and you were to blend it. That's what this kind of smells like. I'm not sure if I'm picking up something different in here or what the case may be, but it is extremely expensive for what you're getting here. If you really love the scent, by all means, like I said, there is no limit. The sky is the limit for what you like, and if you like it, then I can see why you spend the money on it. But I would certainly say that it's probably not my favorite Tom Ford fragrance. The next one we have here is Rose Prig. You can kind of tell what the name is coming from. It is a really nice fragrance too. It is a dusty rose fragrance. It's not going to be as dusty as Rose de Russie. It's a lot more pleasant than that. It does have very feminine traits to it, but I have noticed that this fragrance can kind of be worn by men and women and loved by everyone. I really do like this fragrance overall. It is extremely easy to wear, it is nice, it is fun, but it also has a element of depth to it, which is what I like about this fragrance. And the bottle is just really pretty. I mean, it's like this matte type of material, and it is a light, dusty pink. Just how you see the bottle here is exactly what it smells like, a light, dusty rose. It's done extremely well, and I would certainly say to check it out if you can. This is one of the ones that comes in a 250 ml bottle, so if you have the money for it, you can certainly go and buy yourself a bottle for 1,300 US dollars. And the last one here is Lost Cherries. So I have done a review on this guy as well. I do like this fragrance. I think that in that video it came off as I didn't like the fragrance, or I thought it was nasty or, boring. I like the cherry liqueur type scent. If you were to get a cherry wine, this is what it smells like. It does have a nice almond note in it as well. It's extremely well done. I do like the fragrance. Now, what I meant in that video is it is very easy to replicate from what I can tell. Dossier has their own version that replicates it extremely well. It's almost one-to-one here. And there's also the Target version that I did review from the Flinery collection. It smells similar. That one smells a little bit cheaper, obviously. It is a cheaper fragrance. But this fragrance itself is nice. It is sexy. It is sultry. It's kind of like a cherry liqueur type candle vibe as well, but it's done so well. I can see why this is such an iconic fragrance. Thanks so much for watching today's video, you guys. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more fragrance related content, and also comment down below which is your favorite fragrance by the House of Tom Ford. Which ones do you want to try? Do you have any of the ones that I have? Let me know all of that down below. I look forward to seeing everyone's comments, and I'll see you guys on next time's video. Bye.